Ruben, how come WWE doesn't have 3-on-3 Survivor Series matches? Since WWE factions usually have 3 members, it would be much easier to book multiple Survivor Series matchups on the pay-per-view. In addition, you could utilize most of the roster by having the 3-on-3 Survivor Series matches rather than having one 5-on-5 match. What are your thoughts? I don't like the idea at all. The whole point of the Survivor Series is you get 8 guys or 10 guys in there. It's got to be 4-on-4 or 5-on-5. That's what the Survivor Series is. I see 6-man tag team matches up the yin-yang every single week on television. I see it on Raw, I see it on SmackDown, I see it on Impact. There is nothing unique or different or exciting about just doing more 6-man tag team matches, especially now that the Shield isn't around. When the Shield was around, then you had some exciting 6-man tag team matches. Now it's hit or miss, but we see them on television every week. Now, granted, it's not elimination style, that's true. That's the big wrinkle, that's the big difference. But it wouldn't be any different to me than watching Raw. 3-on-3. We see it every week. It betrays the whole point of what Survivor Series is. So, in other words, what you're saying is that since all factions are 3-on-3 these days, the Wyatts, the Shield, 3MB, right, we have a lot of 3s. Just take those guys and put them in matches on the pay-per-view. I mean, think about the flaw in that logic, beyond what I just said, about the fact that we always have 6-mans on television every week. The whole point of Survivor Series, it's unique in that we get to see those guys, even if they're friends, have to team up with other people that we would normally never see them team with. They did a match one year in '95, one of my favorite Survivor Series shows, in a year that was not a very good year for that company. But they did it, and they attributed it to Gorilla Monsoon, who was the on-air president at the time. Oh, Gorilla Monsoon came up with this concept of the wild card match. Gorilla Monsoon, I got to tell you, from a kayfabe perspective, his character on the air, he came up with some interesting concepts, from the wild card match that they never did again. I don't know why they never did it again. To the whole Raw is War concept. Remember, that was him. Next week, Gorilla Monsoon declares Raw is War. And ever since then, the show has had that look with the Titantron and the ramp. I still remember that. I still remember when they made the announcement and they attributed it to Monsoon. But to go back to my point, in '95 at Survivor Series, they did this wild card match. Now, the concept of the wild card match was it was just a mishmash of heels and faces paired up randomly as teams. So you had on one side Shawn Michaels, Ahmed Johnson, Psycho Sid, the British Bulldog. There may have been one other person, I can't remember. Sid and Michaels were, they used to be together, but they were sworn enemies at that point. Now they're on the same side. The other team had Dean Douglas and Razor Ramon and Owen Hart and Yokozuna. Razor may have been the only babyface on that team. But it was just unique. It was unique to see these guys forced to team up together. In some cases, bitter rivals had to be on the same side. And that's kind of the idea of Survivor Series. Not that exact one. Again, they haven't done that match since '95. But you're supposed to see guys out of their element paired up with guys they ordinarily would not be teamed with. Otherwise, it's just a boring 6-man tag. So I'm not a fan of that at all.